This episode of Ouzo Talk is brought to you by Kingsford Smith Transport. Have a group that needs transporting? KST has you covered with their fleet of professionally maintained buses and coaches, catering from 9 to 57 passengers and driven by experienced drivers. Visit kstbuses.com.au to talk to the team and make your booking. Kingsford Smith Transport, proud sponsors of the Ouzo Talk podcast. There's no Ouzo Talk without a bottle of Ouzo, which is why we love the Greek Providore. Get a real taste of the very best produce that Greece has to offer. From olive oils and delicious artisan sweets, to unique spirits, earthy herbs and memorable wines. Visit thegreekprovidore.com.au to see their amazing range. The Greek Providore, proud sponsors of the Ouzo Talk podcast.
Sound is.
Nick, one of the things I think both of us really love is the idea of sitting down with an ouzo or a tsipuro and a bit of meze, listen to some really scratchy old Greek music and just shoot the shit. It's one of life's real great pleasures, isn't it?
100%, Tom. Look, you've summed up everything that we love in life. Having a shot at tsipro, listening to great music, a little mezedaki, maybe throw a bit of a zari here with a tavli, a bit of viloti. Mate, life doesn't get better than that, does it?
How often do you do it though, honestly? Do you get to do it much?
I'm introducing my son to that scene now. So we do play tavli, we have mezedaki, we have our whiskey, we have our nuts, and we have Greek classical music in the background. Not classical, but Rebetika, as you know.
And it's got to be scratchy. It can't be new stuff. It's got to be stuff that, was recorded, like, it sounds like it's recorded centuries ago, right?
Exactly. And you got to hear the person putting the needle on the album as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great point because it's one of those things people romanticize about that sound, whether it's from a record or whatever it might be. It's just one of those things that makes you feel warm. It reminds you of, your dad or your papu or something like that. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Definitely. Takes us back to a place, our ancestors, our heritage. It's an amazing feeling.
But it keeps on going. I mean, it's important to note as well that, the music that we're talking about, it's evolved and it hasn't stayed stagnant. As much as people love the old stuff and love Rebetika and love all that kind of thing, it has evolved into this new thing and it's really influenced Greek music today, hasn't it?
100%, Tom. Totally agree with you. But I think we've got some great people in the room that can talk to us about it, eh? What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, look, today in the same sort of vein, we get to do all of those things here live in the distillery because we've been fortunate enough to get another important musician and Bouzouki player in the room with us to talk us through all things Rebetika in particular, but awesome. Greek music, Bouzouki and more. Shall we introduce him?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so our guest is a musician and Bouzouki player, as I said, who started playing professionally at just the age of 16, would you believe, Nick? While he was born in Kavala, he has spent plenty of time in this country, which is effectively his second home, really, where he studied at the Sydney Conservatorium of Music. Mm-hmm. With the help of many Greek mentors and influences, his love for folk music was so overpowering that he took advantage of all this knowledge and applied it on the Bouzouki, thus combining the charisma of classical, contemporary and folk music together. He's performed with famed musicians such as Yorgos Katsaros, Markopoulos, Mimis Blessas, Panos Polikadriotis, also with Rebetes, Michalis Yanitsaris, and collaborated with many Greek singers including Tolis Voskopoulos, Yannis Parios, Marinella. Most notably, for 15 years, he performed next to the incredible diva Viki Moskoliou. I mean, wow, unbelievable names,
some big
right?
Names there.
Absolutely. He's actively taught Bouzouki and guitar since 1990, and as early as yesterday, Nick gave a seminar right here in Sydney.
Fantastic.
He's been a soloist with the music orchestra of Ert under the maestro Yorgos Katsaros from my island. Let's point out
at the
Athens Herodion. Also as a concert soloist with the Chalkideon Symphony Orchestra in the Athens Concert Hall. He's written books on Rebetika, instructional books on the Bouzouki, Baglama, Zura, and after all that finds himself right here in the Ouzo Talk distillery. Manolis Michalakis, welcome to Ouzo Talk.
Woo. Hello guys, I'm very happy to be here with you. And you have a beautiful atmosphere here. Ouzoki, στην υγειά μας. I feel like I'm in Greece. Yes, with
exactly.
You. So
that's the highest compliment I think we can have.
We are going to have a good time.
I think we are. We've already started.
Yes.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, we do have a resident Bouzouki expert, Nick, as you know, who has been on pretty much all the Bouzouki episodes that we've done, haven't we?
Definitely, he has.
George Calopedos, welcome back to Ouzo Talk, my friend.
Thank you for having me. We even beelined it for my usual chair. And Had my usual shot.
The freshly married George Calopedos.
Yes, that's
might we
right.
add.
Hey, congratulations are in order, George.
Thank you very much.
And your wife's also been on the show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it still feels weird calling her wife, but she did say a couple of words last time.
Is this day 2 now for marriage? Or?
No, week 2.
Week 2. Whoa.
Yeah,
you're
It
a
doesn't
veteran
get
now.
easier.
Do you celebrate second week anniversaries? Is that a thing?
Oh dear. Well,
Definitely, mate.
congratulations.
Well
Nazir said
you.
that.
Να ζήσετε, παιδιά, ναι.
Fantastic. Well, look, guys, welcome to Ouzo Talk. We're so happy to have you both here. So happy to be here with everyone in this room and with the bottles that we've got here, with the mezze. We're going to talk music. It's going to be fantastic. Nick, shall we do the honours?
Yes, definitely, Tom. Let's have a drink.
Στην υγεία μας.
Στην υγεία μας.
Cheers, boys. Welcome.
Cheers. Have you got anything in there, George?
I downed it already.
Oh, you do?
Sneaky.
Is that the second?
First one.
First one. Oh.
First one.
Oh, that was good.
Because you're driving, huh?
Yeah. Someone's got to drive. Yeah.
We got some more if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well,
Nick, what are we drinking?
mate, we're back on the Sick with Ya. Again, we're sticking with 35N. There's such a great drop. They got make amazing ouzo. The Sick with Ya we've got is fantastic. Manoli, I think you've got the
That's very...
you got the aged Sick with Ya.
It's beautiful.
What do you think of that?
Where do you get this? Tsikoudia?
Great question.
Glad you
Yes.
asked.
Yeah, well, we have a great sponsor on board. They're called the Greek Providore. So they bring all the good stuff in Greece to here, Australia. So for us-
From where, like, what part of Greece is the Tsikoudia?
This is from Crete.
Crete.
Yeah.
Oh, I should look that up, you know, it's
You
beautiful.
should, yeah. And it's a bunch of mates got together. They got a distillery. They make amazing tikudia and ouzo, which we polished in our last episode. So unfortunately, I don't have any to share with you, but Crystal will be in touch. But our Greek Providore, amazing people, bring the best quality stuff. She goes over, is it once or twice a year?
Yeah, she goes over quite regularly, and she only looks for real artisan things. So it's not like the everyday stuff that you get that you can buy anywhere. She looks for the really good stuff, and you know she's spoilt us, bringing all this good stuff on the show.
Very good.
Definitely.
What did you think of that one?
Oh, well, obviously there's none left, so
That's a good sign. Have some more. Have some more.
Yeah, have this one.
half
And we can't forget our other sponsor as well, Tom.
Absolutely not.
We've got the great team from Kingsford Smith Transport come on board as well. This is the 3rd episode they're on. KST Buses, amazing people. George Mavrocordatos, do you know him?
He's a Kazi. Yeah, of course I know.
Kazi, of course. You Kazi stick together, eh?
We do.
He's a good man,
We
George.
try to when
They're
we're
good
not
people.
arguing, so it's
That's all of us.
that's
It's
all
not just
Greeks. That's
Kazis.
it.
Yeah, no, he's a good man, George.
Very good.
He's a very proud Kazi as well. And yeah, so anyone out there who needs buses, like I think we mentioned it last time, the Skolarikas clan love to go and do their cherry picking or
Cherry
apple picking. What's in season these days?
I don't know, mate. Look, if you need buses, again, footy trips, you know, church trips, school trips, whatever it might be,
Yep.
get in touch with the guys at KST Transport.
Exactly.
You know, they're your go-to destination for this stuff. Thanks so much for being on board, guys.
Thank you, guys. And yeah, reach out to Stavros as well. Harass him for us.
The
He's a
Bulldog
good
supporter,
man.
right?
The Bulldog supporter.
Yeah, we won't hold that up against
So
him.
are they in the 8? I think they are.
Are they now?
Yeah, he's probably happy now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Stavros, look after our people, mate.
Good stuff. Thank you to both of our sponsors for this. Now, look, let's get into it. Manoli, we've already mentioned that you were born in Kavala. Tell us a little bit about how long you actually spent there. How long did you spend growing up in Greece versus coming to Australia?
I came to Australia at the age of 9.
Right.
And I went back to Greece at the age of 24. So
wow.
I stayed here a lot of years. I went to school here, but I forgot my English. I come now and then, every 2 years, every 3
Right.
years. I come, entertain here, you know,
Yes.
play somewhere music, you know. So
Your English is really good. It's like our Greek when we go to Greece.
it's just, it needs a little bit να το ακονίσω, δηλαδή to
You need to fine tune it.
fine tune it. That's right. That's right. That's it.
So, where were you in Sydney? Where did you stay in Sydney?
Well,
Was it Sydney or Melbourne?
when we came the first time, we stayed at Glebe.
Glebe.
Yes,
Nice
just
area.
Yeah, and then after Glebe, we went to Newtown,
Mm-hmm.
and then Marrickville,
Yeah.
and the last years we were at the Conger Bay, Carlton.
Okay.
St George area.
Nice and
George,
close.
that's right.
Yeah.
St George.
There you go. See, all
Yeah.
good people come from here, Tom. We always say that.
Yeah, we know. Unsurprising.
Yeah.
We have very good people here. Yeah, that's
Wow.
what.
So you were born in Kavala,
I was born in Kavala.
and
yes.
your parents, are they all from there, all your ancestors?
Yes, my mother is from Thraki,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was from Smyrna
Oh, wow.
when they were coming, the refugees then, you know.
Mhm.
And, but he was born on the way from Smyrna to Kavala. He was
Wow.
born on the way, you know,
Wow.
and,
Oh, wow,
and
on
he
the boat.
lived all his years in Kavala.
So
Yes.
did they move at the time of the
Yes.
catastrophe?
So
Wow.
19
The catastrophe,
22?
yes, 1922. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your grandparents, obviously, they both came over.
My grandfather from my father,
Mm-hmm.
they came from
Yeah.
Smyrna. My other grandparents, they
Yep.
were from Thraki,
Perfect.
Orestiada,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what out.
north. Yeah.
So your parents from Smyrna, have you gone back to Smyrna? Have you seen where they lived?
Well, I haven't seen where they lived, but I went back. I tried to find where, but I couldn't. Like, it was a very small stay because we went for music, and so we went one day, and we have to come back the next day. So I didn't have much time to look it up, and.
What was that like for you to go there knowing? I mean, we've spoken to other people that are in a similar position. One of them, in fact, is the former head of NATO, Admiral James Stavridis from the US. His parents had come from Smyrna
Grandparents.
as well. Grandparents, rather. And he spoke at length about how he felt going back into that city. What was it like for you going back?
Well, I can't explain how I felt. It was something that I can't explain. Like, δέος, πώς θα το πω στα ελληνικά, it's δέος, like...
Gave you goosebumps?
Goosebumps, yes, and it came by itself, looking at all, without me knowing, not born there.
I'm getting them now.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
So
yes,
you felt like a presence.
that's right.
There was
the
something
presence.
there, some
yes,
connection.
That's the correct word. Yes, I'm trying to find the correct words,
No,
but that's
okay.
very yes. The present, I felt that, and
Yeah.
also the goosebumps, like
Yeah.
what's going on, you know.
The interesting thing about the discussion we're having now is that Smyrna plays such an important role in the development of music.
Of course,
And the refugees that came and settled, particularly in Piraeus.
of course.
What's your connection to music in that respect? Were you aware of a culture or a tradition of music from Smyrna that came into your family?
Yes, when they came to Greece, 1922, the refugees, like from there, they praying το άκουσμα του Smyrnaico minore. This is the minor scale. Like in classical music, it's the minor scale, sharp 4, harmonic minor, sharp 4. I'm just saying it in in music.
For all the musos out there.
Yes, for the music. Yes.
So explain for the non-musos, Tom.
So when we talk minor, for the layman's terms, a minor key is generally characterized as being sad.
Yes, sad. That's right, because that's the word explains that, because it's a minor.
Yes.
Minor, we make it smaller, so it's more sadder.
Yes.
But, the major is larger, so it's more happy.
Correct.
Yes. And they bring the Smyrnaico minore, which there was a bouzouki player, then the first bouzouki player, who made the first recording in Athens. His name was Ioannis Chalikias, and he made the first recording with the bouzouki. Επηρεασμένος, he was inspired from the Smyrnaico minore, which before they played with the outi, the kanonaki. Now he did the first recording with bouzouki, and all the people who came from there, they like that very much because they hear their music from Smyrna with bouzouki. So that was a very, and I would like to play this so you can maybe
Absolutely.
hear this.
Did you want to play it now?
Yes, yes, of
Would you like
course.
to give an example?
Yeah, I'd like to know the difference. So, what is an oud? What is that?
The oud.
Oud.
It's more ανατολίτικο όργανο.
Yeah.
It's generally characterized to be a little bit more of an Arab or Middle Eastern
Yes,
type
Middle,
of...
Middle Eastern,
Yeah, Middle
which
Eastern.
has, yes.
It's larger, yeah. So it's a larger thing. Maybe you go and get your Bouzouki, Manolis, while I explain this.
Yep.
So it's got a larger ass, basically.
Okay.
So it's quite round. It's got a short neck.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, George, I mean, you know as well. Like it sounds a little bit more like an acoustic guitar, like a nylon string or something to some degree, doesn't
in
it?
a way, I think what characterizes it is it's fretless, right? There's no frets on a oud.
That's right.
So you're able to get your quarter tones and even further and really get some different tones from it as well. So.
And you get that really Middle Eastern sound out of that. I mean, it's very Middle Eastern, you know. So
Because it's fretless.
Correct.
That's why you get all the quarter tones.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So just for context, I'm the only non-muso in the room. All those listeners out there. So
if you look at the Bouzouki now, they're all to semitones. Every fret moves up in a semitone.
Again,
So
it frets those lines.
if you can imagine an extra fret in between the two frets, then that gives it instead of a bigger jump in tone, it's a bit of a smaller jump in tone.
okay.
And when you hear it, it almost sounds Middle Eastern when you hear it.
Absolutely.
Those quarter tones, yeah.
So Manoli's going to play the song that was first recorded with a bouzouki.
Right. And you have to think that this recording took place 100 years before. And what I'm going to play now is the Smyrnaico minore on a bouzouki. I'm going to improvise the improvisation that Ioannis Chalkias did then, without adding extra notes.
Right.
Because I do this like teaching it. So, and another thing is this is the basic, of all the minor taximia improvisation that all the bouzouki players do from then, 100 years before, to today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all the improvisations effectively are influenced by this.
Στηρίζονται πάνω σε αυτό.
Yes.
Πάνω στο Σμυρνέικο μινόρε, που μετά το ονομάσαμε διαφορετικά. Δηλαδή, στη κλασική μουσική είναι, όπως είπα, αρμονική μινόρε, ευξημένη 4, και στην Ανατολή είναι το λεγόμενο νεβεσέρ.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Yes,
Translate?
Absolutely. There's a lot in there, but basically the key thing that everyone needs to know is that this particular piece in the minor scale forms the foundations of all the improvisational stuff that you would come to hear from bouzouki players wherever you go. Usually, if you go to a taverna or a Rebetika or something like that, if the bouzouki player is playing by himself to start off with, it's usually a taximi that's going to be based on something like this.
Wow.
Tom, your English is perfect. I'm learning now.
You're welcome. Let's hear Manoli.
This is called το μινόρε του Τεκέ και έχει ηχογραφηθεί. It was first recorded, the first recording for bouzouki, 1928.
Wow.
Okay.
That is brilliant.
It's like the blues
Wow.
music from B.B. King.
Yeah,
Before the,
that is brilliant.
This is the Greek
Greek
Rebetiko.
version.
That's how
Unbelievable.
Rebetiko started.
Started.
You know, from this
Unbelievable.
The
Unbelievable.
Greek blues, huh,
song.
Tom?
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. How did that make you feel listening to that?
Look, for mine, I mean,
Where did it take you? Where did your mind take
well,
you?
the first thing that needs to be said is that it's an honor to have Manoli play in this room with us and to be on this
It's
show.
my honor. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh,
Thank
look,
you.
it's unbelievable to have, you know, I mean, we've had Thanasi Polikadrioti obviously playing in this room as well,
Sitting
so
in the
we're
same
very,
chair.
so we're very proud to
Yes,
have
sir.
you as well. But I mean, for mine, it's interesting, and George might agree with this. It almost puts you into a trance-like state when you
100%.
listen to these taksimia.
Yeah.
And at a certain point there, I found myself feeling like there's more than one instrument here, to some degree, because you start to see colours and feel things that
It transports you
Yeah.
to a different place, doesn't it?
Right.
absolutely.
And you're hearing even the way Manoli plays it, the way it's so close to the original. And as you see him play it, you can almost imagine, well, as a Bouzouki player, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but what may have been going through the minds of the people that wrote these early Rebetika, you know, because all of these, the way that they do their taksimia, the way that they do their flourishes, it's all an impression of their soul on their instrument. And the way Manoli's playing it, you can sort of see the way his fingers are moving. You can almost imagine what sort of hardship someone must have been going through. And it's almost like they're making their instrument cry for them, you know, because they may not have any crying left.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a bit of a deep sort of comment.
No,
but-
that's fantastic.
But
Bravo,
yeah,
you,
well said, George.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bravo,
That's
bravo.
perfectly said.
It almost translates as well into the dancing, you know, the way that people dance to these things as well. It is a way for them to express themselves in a very different way where they're overcome by it.
Yes.
Even-
There's a Bekiko.
yeah.
Yes.
That's it. The
So
way
they
you
go
express
together,
it.
obviously.
Yes, of course.
Rebetiko and Zebekikos,
That's right.
same.
But would we go as far as, and this is just a question maybe for you, Manoli, but modern Zebekika seem very different to Zebekika like that song there. I feel like they're much faster.
Well, this is a fast Zebekiko, but there's also slow Zebekiko.
Yeah.
I think the difference between then and now is τότε υπήρχαν βιώματα. It's what they live. They express
It's a
themselves.
reality.
That's right.
Okay.
Something like that. There's another word, but I can't think of it. Yes. Και everything was true. Like the lyrics in all the songs then. It was βιώματα. What everyone experienced in their life. It's their life.
Yeah.
But today, it's not so much βιώματα. It's like let's make music to a song. We'll make something like that, and then it was coming from their soul.
I
Like,
get it. So they lived through this.
That's right. They lived
So
through this.
it's
Everything.
like them telling a story of their life through
Yes.
music. Through
That's
the
a
Bouzouki.
difference, I think.
Yeah.
When you've lived through something or writing a story about something. Definitely.
How much of what you've just played there, I mean, for Bouzouki players, like George, for example, or like me who struggles, but how much do we owe to that piece there for what? Just give us a sense of how important that
I
is.
think we owe everything. Like a Bouzouki player today, from 100 years before till today, are still playing on this taksimi. So we owe the minor scale, the minore taksimi. Whatever we improvise, it's on that. Not only the taksimi, but also the songs that are written in a minor key on this scale are from that. And what I'd like to say is, from that recording that Ioannis Chalikias made, after they start recording, and Manolis Chiotis was playing, he was a guitarist then.
Yes.
He started Bouzouki because he was inspired from this taksimi and this song.
Yes.
Yannis Papaioannou, the great Rebetes. And after, βέβαια, Marcos Vavakaris. He made, after this recording, he started recording the first songs. And it was he had a band, it's called, στα ελληνικά, είναι η θρυλική τετράς.
The legendary four.
The legendary four. Okay. Yes. Vavakaris, Payumdzis,
Stratos Payumdzis.
Yeah, Vavakaris, Delias, Payumdzis, Stratos Payumdzis, a great singer.
I love him.
A great singer.
I just love
Kazantzidis learned from him
Yeah.
and all the great singers, you know. Like Kazantzidis was one of the greats.
Well,
yes. And
we can talk at length about that.
That's right. And Batis on the Baglama.
Yes.
So 3 Bouzoukia, Vavakaris, Delias, Payumdzis, and Batis on the Baglama.
Wow. What a band.
Yes, that's right.
That's the original supergroup, let's say.
That's right. It all started from this. That's what you asked me before.
Yeah.
Everything started from this,
Yeah.
and still we're on that. You know.
Yeah.
And did that come from Smyrna?
From Smyrna.
Wow.
Το άκουσμα, the sound of the minor scale, which is this. But they were playing before violin, oud, and outi, and kanonaki. Sanduria,
kanonaki?
all of that. Yes. And
What's a kanonaki?
It's the kanonaki is the one that it's like a sanduri, but you play with the nails. You put nails. You get like
right.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's like a...
Like it sounds like this. Like if I played.
Well done. Yeah, I could picture it now.
This is kanonaki sound
Yeah.
of kanonaki.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Manoli, you're a champ.
You should do this for a living, right?
He's doing all this on a bouzouki. So there was a difference between Rebetika from Constantinople and Smyrna, was there? Or was it the same thing? So Rebetika, where did it come from? What's the origins of Rebetika?
It started around οι ρεμπέτες στο 1900.
1900.
Yes, that's right. It's a bit hard for me to explain it.
Yeah. But started
but they
around
started-
the coast.
That's right.
Was it inland? Cappadocia?
Yes.
Oh, as
Ακριβώς,
well.
έτσι
Okay, because
ακριβώς.
there were Greeks in
Αλλά-
Cappadocia.
That's right. But after επηρεασμένοι και από Σμύρνη και όλο αυτό, ξέρεις. Ναι.
Okay.
It gave another color to it.
Yeah.
And
from
were they
Smyrna.
only Greeks that played it, or did the Ottomans play it as well?
No, I think Greeks only played Rebetika, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the first Greeks.
But you said something very important because there's a distinction that needs to be made that the bouzouki already existed by that point in Greece. It's the sound and the style of the music, by what you were saying before, that was brought over.
That's right.
And was reinterpreted with
Exactly.
the bouzouki, it sounds like.
The bouzouki, it started from tabura. This is what at the ancient αρχαιότητα, στην αρχαία Ελλάδα, αρχαία.
Ancient
We
times,
we had this, and it was called tabura. It was pandura. The first they called it pandura. After it was tabura, and it's the one that they use in Middle East. To sazi. It's the same. If you heard. And what they did is they put, like we said before, from the frets. They did steel frets on the bouzouki. They were half tone. Before they had other frets, which they called berdedes, which they were quarter tones.
Right.
It depends on the scale that they were playing. They were moving the berdedes up or down so they can get the right sound, the quarter tones. George, that's correct.
Right.
That's right. Yes, and that's one thing they did. The second thing they did is they did a cavallari. Υψώσαν το καβαλάρι.
The bridge, so they raised the bridge.
Θα υψώσουν και θα επεκτείνουν τη τασχέρα πάνω στο καπάκι με αύξηση του ύψους του καβαλάρι.
So you're raising the height of the bridge and the height of the action of the strings.
Correct. Okay. And then another thing they did is θα αφαρδίνουν το σκάφος.
So,
Before it was more
lengthening the body.
narrow. They made it more
widening the body.
Then they put steel κλειδιά.
Okay. The tuning pegs.
Pegs,
Yes. And all of this gave a πιο λαμπερό ήχο στο μπουζούκι. Πιο λαμπερό.
So it all creates a brighter sound and a bigger sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this comes from there.
Right.
Από την αρχαιότητα, από την αρχαία πανδούρα.
Right.
Okay.
Ταμπουρά και μπουζούκι. This is Greek.
Yeah.
This is Greek 100%.
So tabura is the early version of a bouzouki.
Yes. They teach this in Greece, tabura. We teach that in schools.
Yeah.
So we can να έχουμε την παράδοση.
Yes.
Hang on to the heritage,
Yeah.
the culture.
Yes, so we can keep the... But Bouzouki is from there. It's not like many people say it's from Turkey, so it's not. This is a Greek.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask
Yes.
you, because there is that misconception
No.
that it came from Turkey.
No.
It sounds like it is just the fact that those sounds came from there and it was reinterpreted and it was popularized in that way.
Yes. Well, the sounds, they came from Smyrna, like, it's not Turkish, it's Smyrna. This is Greece, it was there.
Yes.
But this is a Greek sound. This is from αρχαιότητα, from αρχαία Ελλάδα και βυζαντινή μουσική.
So from ancient Greece and from Byzantine music.
That's right.
And it is actually.
That's right,
It's
yes.
great that you mentioned that, because
Yes.
when you listen to the playing and also the singing, but in particular the taksimia,
Yes.
you are almost transported to church
That's right.
in the Byzantine,
Exactly.
in that sort of Byzantine vein,
Yes,
the
yes.
chanting.
This is Greek. Okay.
Wow.
Amazing.
And even η Τουρκία, ας πούμε, the Turkish, το
the
Τουρκικός
Ottomans.
λαός,
Yeah.
they say this, they mention this, that they have a lot of things from Greece, like Byzantio και αρχαία Ελλάδα. And even last thing, if you go to Berkeley, ας πούμε, or Juilliard's music
Yep.
School, yeah.
the first thing a jazz player learns is the Greek modes.
Is that right?
Yes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian. It's the Greek modes.
Yes.
If you open a jazz book, the first thing they learn is the Greek modes.
Wow.
Yes. So we're είμαστε περήφανοι για την Ελλάδα.
Yeah, 100%.
It's huge.
It's something we should all be proud of, because
Yes.
it's true that our culture has sort of emanated many parts, not just, we always talk about, the democracies and the science and the philosophies, but this is equally as important, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
So can I go back to the Rebetika now?
Yes.
So it originated around the 1900s, you
Yes,
believe.
yes.
There was a different version of Rebetika in Smyrna, Constantinople. Was there much of a difference?
No, it wasn't much a difference, but
they're very similar.
Yeah, very,
Okay.
very similar.
And
yes.
where were they played?
Because in Smyrna, the Greeks also. So,
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Even though they're both Greek, they might
They
have
were-
had a different.
Τα παίζανε τότε στα υπόγεια, κρυφά, γιατί ήταν απαγορεμένα τα ρεμπέτικα τότε της εποχής, τα απαγορεμένα ρεμπέτικα.
Okay.
Ναι.
So they
Everything's in
played-
secret,
I've got an
basically.
Ipoyo at my mum's
right.
house.
Yeah, in basement. Well, literally in basements.
Yeah, that's what it
They were
means.
basement clubs, weren't
That's
they?
right, basement clubs. But
Underground.
when all of this recording started, then they start to appreciate it and να γίνονται αποδεκτά περισσότερο.
Yeah.
So
Αποδεκτά.
more widely accepted.
That's right.
Basically.
Okay, so it was sort of like an underground music. What type of people and characters would go down there? Like, who would listen to this music? Were they working class? Were they upper class? Were they
I think
alternatives?
Druggies. Everybody.
a little bit of
a
all,
hashish.
but mostly, πώς να το πω τώρα, άνθρωποι της νύχτας, άνθρωποι του υπόγειου,
all the best types of people.
Yeah, that's right, all of
Vagabonds,
this.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the music we say that it's the blues of Greece, but it's also music of persecuted and much lower socioeconomic class.
Φυλακή, ναι, όλο αυτό.
Yeah, people in jails, people. They called those clubs hashish dens
that's
for a
right.
reason. And this was all sort of centered very much around Piraeus, wasn't it?
Παιδιά, that's right. I'm trying to be more
I
gentle
know.
with this because
We can be a little bit more.
I appreciate all of this and it's, and I don't want to say something that will be...
Of course. But the
That's
thing
okay.
is, it's very important for us to mention
know.
that these people were persecuted
Yes.
to the point where, the police would be coming around breaking instruments and stealing.
course, yes.
Μας σπάσαν τα μπουζούκια, το
Yes,
μπαγλαμά
yes.
και τον αργιλέ.
A lot of songs have written for
Yes.
this. Yes.
So people would end up in jail for even having a baglama, wouldn't they?
Yes, and Bouzouki. Το κρύβανε.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is now in Piraeus. So the
Yes.
1922 happened. They brought over their musical instruments. They weren't really widely accepted. I think we've discussed in a
Yes,
few
until
episodes.
then, yes.
Then they went down into the Ipoyo, which I
Yes,
knew that when I was a
yes.
kid because we got one at my house, which is like a underground basement.
Did you have a hashish den in your house?
No, we had barrels of wine. My dad used to make wine.
Really?
In our Ipoyo, we had massive barrels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here in Cogra. Or Bexley,
Bexley,
rather.
yeah,
Wow.
that's it. And they're still there.
Wow.
Yeah, full of mould, but yeah.
Wow.
Wow, fascinating. So underground, yeah, Greek blue, I love it. That's the stuff that we like now. That's what we talk about
Even
now.
a lot of the songs that they were singing, right? Because they weren't always people of the street and people that were of low socioeconomic class. They'd come from Asia Minor and they were quite successful in their own rights. So, they were singing about their losses. So. Didn't they, because they banned the Bouzouki at one point, didn't they? And that's why they had the baglama used to be under the coat.
That's why they made it small, the smaller baglama, so they put it in the pocket.
So the restrictions around it actually influenced how they were making the instruments, is what you're saying.
That's right. Ioannis Chalkias started from America.
Actually, we should mention this because I think, so the first recording was actually done in the US, wasn't it?
Yes,
Because there's a guy called Thanasi Athanasiou.
yes.
I was going to say he's my grandfather, but he's not. Same surname.
Same surname.
I was going to say, do you know my grandfather? No. But he went to the US, didn't he?
Yes,
and he started.
Many Bouzouki players, great Bouzouki players and composers. They started from the USA.
So they would have gone from 1922 to the US?
And before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, even Hyoti went at one stage as well.
Yeah,
He did a lot of recording later on, didn't he?
Hyoti was playing, started with a 6-string Bouzouki, with a 3-string, and he's the one that made it
The
4-string.
tetrapono.
That's what they say, yes.
Yes.
Αλλά he helped to get it, να το κάνει γνωστό ο Hyottis. He took the Bouzouki from Rebetika and το πήγε στα σαλόνια.
Yes.
Into the lounge room.
Yeah.
That's right.
From the basement
from the
to
basement
the lounge room.
to the lounge. Hyoti did this.
Hyoti, and what era was this? We 1940s now?
Around there, 1948, 45, 48,
Okay.
In the
20,
40s.
20 years after
In the
the
40s,
Great
yes.
Migration.
Yes, in the 40s.
So, I mean, we mentioned names like Van Vakari and all those Papaiwan, those original rebetes. At what point did it start to become a little more accepted? I mean, Tsitsani, for example, is obviously quite early on.
Yes.
But I feel as though he sort of marks a little bit of a change at that point.
Tsitsani made a very big change because είχε μεγάλο φάσμα από τραγούδια, δεν ήταν μόνο Rebetika. He had a lot of influence from a lot of sounds from Europe and all this. I don't know how he did that.
I mean, he was prolific in the way that he wrote, number
That's right.
one.
He was playing mandolin, you know, and from there είχε μεγάλο φάσμα με το ρεπερτόριο. Είχε όλα τα είδη στα τραγούδια του Τσιτσάνης και είχε το μεγαλύτερο ρεπερτόριο από όλους.
So he has the largest repertoire of everyone.
Και αυτός είναι αυτός είναι ο πιο σημαντικός που έκανε αυτή την αλλαγή και το πήγε, ας πούμε, παραπέρα. And 1960, I think, ήταν ο διευθυντής της Columbia.
So he was the director of Columbia
Yes, of
Records.
course.
Wow.
This was 1960.
Vasily
Vassilis
Tsitsanis.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
He's
What
the
a
great.
legend.
Yes. Great.
So, I
From
mean,
Trikala, born in Trikala.
Trikala, that's right.
I can't imagine that there would be anyone else in Greek music that has written, number one, as many songs as Vasily Tsitsani, number
That's
one.
right. That's it.
But number two, as many important songs as him.
And different style of songs.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
So
different
give us
style.
an example of an important song that you can think of.
An important song, Throw a Rock. Συνεφιασμένη Κυριακή, yeah.
How does that go?
It goes. I'm sure you heard of it because
I want to get the guitar out.
get it.
I'll get it, I'll
Yes,
get it.
yes, of course. Yes.
Tom and I do this song.
Yes.
Oh, do I know this? I must know this one.
This is the improvisation at the beginning of this ήταν σήμα του ραδιοφώνου της Ελλάδος για χρόνια.
So that means what then? Like
The
unofficial.
σήμα. That's how
It
it
was
started.
the station signal, basically.
Oh,
Signal was there.
wow.
That's right. Many years, yes.
Station
It
signal
was
for
this
Greece.
signal. Μπράβο.
Μοιάζεις με την καρδιά
Μπράβο, Τόμ.
Oh, there we go.
Πολύ ωραίο, μπράβο. Και ωραία κιθάρα και ωραίο το τραγούδισες. Μπράβο.
What an
σου.
honor that is.
Μπράβο σου, it's my honor.
I said I didn't want to drink too much tonight, but I just had to pour myself another one. Guys, that was brilliant. Far
And
out.
impromptu.
Αυτόρμητο.
That's it.
Unrehearsed.
I think you've been dropped, George.
No, it's
Dropped,
I'm
dropped,
gone.
that's it.
You're gone.
George, you have to play
Tom's
some
upgraded.
song.
Do harmonies.
We're going to have to do one at the end, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Στην υγεία μας.
Στην υγεία μας.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. This only happens in Greek. Nicolaou.
I love it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that was the signal for Greece in the 1940s.
No, I think later.
Later.
After maybe 60s and that later.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but it's more later. Yeah. Because this
Fantastic.
song was written. Let's see if I have it here.
Because
Exactly.
it was written about a very historic event, that song, wasn't it? Sinefyas Beni Kyriaki.
Yeah.
A very,
So
was
can
written
you explain
around
what that is?
50 something, 54,
right.
I think. Yeah.
It was with the Nazi occupation of Athens when
Is that right?
when
yes.
the Greek boys went and changed the Nazi flag
That's
to
it,
the Greek
yes.
flag.
Is that what it's about?
And then the
I never
Nazis
realised
lined
that.
up all the boys and killed them. So
Wow.
yeah, so it was a song about the sad Sunday that happened because it was
Is that
Yeah.
the day where the Evzon took the Nazi flag down and jumped off the Parthenon? Was that incident?
I think that's a different one. But
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh, when Inglesos and
Manolis Michalakis and
Santas
that's the one. Yes.
took put the Greek flag up,
so they took the Nazi flag and put that one, and
and they
put the-
escaped. He ended up becoming a politician.
He did.
So they captured a couple of Greeks and shot them
the
because
whole
of
bunch
that
of
incident.
Greek boys that because someone said it was a Greek boy that did it, so they lined them all up and that was it.
And that song is for that. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've got that song as one example, and then Titani can. I mean, what would be the exact opposite of that song that maybe Titani wrote?
Well, this is Rebetika. He did a lot of other songs like a Bolero, Χασαποσέρβικα, Χασάπικα. Like another great song of Titani's is this one. It's Η Αχάριστη. You heard of that, I think?
Yes.
It goes
What does that
something
mean?
like this. I just play it. Just
Unhappy.
the introduction. Ungrateful.
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 Yes.
A kind way of saying it.
Bravo, Tom. Another song like Bolero, it's something like this. Just play this. A lot of colors, a lot of songs.
And
different.
things like
So they were from the
ones that we play.
1950s. From 1950 onwards.
Like Kaiki Mwai
Paleta,
Nicola.
Tsakaki,
Yes,
yeah.
that's the more dance sirta, ας πούμε, kaikia.
exactly.
And they're all so different, vastly
Yeah.
different songs. Yeah.
Like every wedding in Australia from the 80s, 80s and 90s that I used to
Until
go to, for
now,
example,
yeah.
well, even now,
Yeah.
you'll hear Likeria's version of the,
That's right.
those songs.
Yes, that's
very interesting. I mean, look, we could talk all day about Titania.
Yes, of course. You could, not only one day.
Who
Yeah.
would be the best Rebetika or Bouzouki player that ever lived for Greece?
Oh, that's a big one.
Well,
Big question.
The controversial statement.
In your opinion, I'm sure there's going to be, maybe give me your top three.
Θανάσης Πολυκαδριώτης, right?
what I think is...
Are you related to him, by the way?
Well, Θανάσης Πολυκαδριώτης is my κουμπάρο. He's στεφάνωσε τη κόρη μου,
Oh, wow.
Χριστίνα.
Okay. Oh, so he's
είμαστε-
number one? No.
Yes, of course. But I think everyone is he's got his character.
Yes.
And everyone is number one, I think.
Yeah.
If he can bring out, αν βγάλει το χαρακτήρα του in
He brings
music.
out his character. Yeah.
Well, all these bouzouki players have a different
That's
voice.
right, exactly.
They've all got a very distinct voice. Like, so, for example, if you hear Paleologu, you know that it's him.
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
that's right.
In the same way that when you listen to, guitarists, if you hear Santana, you know it's Santana.
That's exactly. So there's not the best. There's no best.
Manoli, yesterday you were talking about this. You were talking about how Zabetas has a very particular staccato way of picking, and Titsanis has its way of picking as well. And
yes.
Tell us a bit more about that, the different styles.
Well, that's what everyone has got his own character. If you find that, that's what I was saying to the younger people that were at the seminar, that you have to, instead of you trying to be someone else, try to find your character and put it in music. And then that's going to be, θα είναι επιτυχία αυτό. It's going to be success.
That's what your success will be.
That's what the success will be. So all of these bouzouki players, they had their own sound, their own χαρακτηριστικό παίξιμο. Έτσι. Zambetas had his own. Hiotis his own. You hear Hioti and you say Hioti. Titsanis, he's got every one of these.
Style.
And after, like you said before, Paleologu, he had his own. And the more today, like Polykadriotis, Nikolopoulos, and the younger bouzouki players. But it's hard, that's what I was saying yesterday at the seminar, it's hard to find today your own if you don't do some research in music and if you don't get inspired of and put something else in the music, so you can, because οι συνδυασμοί, the combinations,
yes.
It was 1, 2, 3, these three numbers. We did that for 100 years. For some new bouzouki player to find something his own, he has to add something to that. Like instead of having a major chord, you have to put a 7. Make it 4-note chord.
Yeah.
So it's the Greek way. We modernize it. We make things better. We tweak it. With every generation, it gets...
It's not really the modernize.
Okay.
The style of playing will be, again, bouzouki playing, but
it's building on the knowledge of everyone else.
That's right.
That whole thing built on the shoulders of giants, as they say.
Like I was saying, like I don't know if I can do an example. We have a lot of modes, a lot of dromos. One dromo, a very sad klímaka, is sabah. Sabah is called. It's a Turkish name. Okay. In Greek, this is the Aeolian flat 4. It's this one, like do. That's the fourth. We flatten it. Like we're saying the natural minor, but we flatten the fourth note. This is the flat. That's the natural and the sabbat. Okay, so how do they play? They go up and down the scale and do some licks that are the most popular in the ears of the other bouzouki players have played. Okay, so it goes something like this. They're thinking going up and down the scale, and they stop at the first note, then they go to the third, and then maybe they will go to the fourth and come back to the seventh. That's how they were thinking. But if you think more music and you add, like instead of having a do minore, C minor chord, if you add a major 7, it will sound like more jazzy, but you're not going to play it like a jazz player. You're not going to play it... You're not going to do it like that. You're going to do it our style. You're not going to do it modern, like you're going to go... What did I do? Da, 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 da. That's a major chord.
Wow.
But I did it.
That is brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just did the jazz, and then you did the Greek blues version.
What the jazz players did, they had also. We stayed στη παράδοση. Εμείς παραμείναμε στη παράδοση.
We
So you stay in
remained
the tradition.
It's good τα νέα παιδιά, the new generation, yes, to try to not play jazz and the bouzouki, I think, or if someone wants to do, he can do that, or classical, but to keep the sound of the bouzouki, how we have it in the ears, it's good to keep it, but if you add an extra, something different music, like the chord, this gives you more combinations, to have more sounds.
So I've got to ask you as a student now, right? Yes. We talk about the importance of finding your voice and trying to find that character you talk about.
Yes.
Is the right way to go about that to study widely other players, or is it to not look at what those players are doing and to try and figure it out yourself? I mean, you hear many stories about musicians who, for example, never had any formal training. And they just picked up an instrument and started learning by themselves or whatever. And then you've got the other side where people learn from a very young age how to read music or how to, all these things. Is there a right way to do it?
Well, because the bouzouki is an instrument this is the Greek instrument that all the Greek people have that in their ear, the traditional sound of the bouzouki. I think you have to do you have to, how do you say it like in English, go wide.
So study broadly, listen to other people.
All from Tsitsanis, Papaioannou, all of these greats, first players from the bouzouki. You have to first study them, and then try to find your character. Then try to find your own music. But first you have to go from there, because the songs that we play, if you don't play them that way, if they don't have that sound, where are you going to play them? They will say, "Oh, there's something wrong there."
Yeah.
It's not the same.
You keep the traditional.
You keep the traditional, but you go. I think you have to go on.
Yes.
And find yourself something new, but in the sound of the bouzouki. Να μην το πάμε αλλού, ας πούμε. Don't make it jazz, because the bouzouki is not for. It's made not so much to play jazz. The guitar is better. Is made. The instrument is better to do jazz than the bouzouki because it's got double strings. It's more hard to bend and all of this, doing the bending and all the chords.
There isn't a lot of that in bouzouki playing, is there? I've noticed, no one. I mean, is anyone doing
it's
bends?
Slowly
on
coming
bouzouki?
in, I think. I know I've seen Karandini do a couple of bends when he plays, and
all the bouzouki players do
bending.
bending, but
you did bending last night.
But you can't do that because you have two strings.
And it's
together.
harder.
When you bend this, you can't do that. Like a 12-string guitar, you can't do the bending.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, a 12-string guitar, for example, you're playing rhythm on that almost exclusively, unless you're the Beatles or the Byrds, where they would do it.
See, but wait. See, it's not correct because when you bend, they go together, these strings, and it's just a bit falso.
Yeah.
You can do that, but it will sound better on the guitar.
Yes.
Sure, 100%. But είσαστε πολύ ενημερωμένοι, βλέπω. Μπράβο. Και θα μάθω και εγώ πράγματα.
We try to stay up to date with it.
Χαίρομαι πολύ, πραγματικά. Μπράβο.
Also, Rebetika was always men doing it. Were there any females?
Of course.
Yeah? Who were some of the females that were?
Well,
I feel
Tsitsanis had a piano player. This was a female. Margoni, her name, I don't remember her first name, but she was a great piano player who was playing Rebetika.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And today, of course, there's a lot of female who are playing bouzouki. Yeah, and you hear very good playing also.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to say something to you. Στην αρχαιότητα, in the ancient times, yes, women were playing bouzouki. Στα σαλόνια των
in the lounge rooms.
Yes, των μεγάλων τους είχαν μπουζούκι γυμνόστιθοι.
Oh, really? Naked from
That's
the top.
why this the bouzouki
has that shape.
Yes.
Really?
The name Bouzouki comes from the Greek word vizos ή vozous.
So this means breast.
That's
effectively.
right.
Yep.
Yes, yes. That means ακριβώς μεγάλο οξόγωμα. Big.
So it actually means a large curve.
That's right.
Large curve.
So this mimics the shape of the bouzouki.
That's right. The shape, το σκάφος του μπουζουκιού.
Yep. The body.
The body of the, it's like a vozos.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, a vizos.
It's like half a breast.
Okay, that's right.
Big breast.
Είναι μία εικόνα που παραπέμπει στο σχήμα του σκάφους, αυτό που είπαμε. Είναι,
So it looks, takes that shape.
That's right. Τα παλαιότερα χρόνια, on the old days, women played this, and μάλιστα ήταν ημίγυμνες, from breast
So from the waist up.
waist up. That's right.
So it's what you were
Like
saying.
this.
So it's what you were saying earlier. That so there's actually a very strong connection with women. Number one, with this instrument, and they would play it half naked.
That's right.
From the waist up.
Που το ακουμπούσανε πάνω στο στήθος τους. They were
They would rest it on their breast.
Good, beautiful.
Very
Yes.
good. Okay.
Το όργανο αυτό τότε το λέγανε εμβοζίγιον.
Εμβοζίγιο.
Εμβοζίγιον.
So this is the original name.
That's how after yes, in the ancient days, okay. Εμβοζίγιον, it was Πανδούρα, then it became εμβοζίγιον, yes. Που αργότερα, later, in maybe in the last 120 years around there, πήρε το όνομα Bouzouki.
Okay.
Wow.
Took the name
Wow.
Bouzouki. That's the most, I think, πιο έτσι ψαγμένο.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very good description. We have to thank your daughter for that,
Yes,
who is a
Christina,
musicologist.
Go Christina.
Well
done.
So all that information has actually come from Christina, who is Manolis' daughter, who, as we just mentioned, is a musicologist.
thank you.
It can't be any more clear cut than that, can it?
Yes, no.
And I mean, I'm quite pleased to hear. I'm sure most people would be pleased to hear that there is a connection to women with this instrument, even though we don't have that many, or they're not known for being bouzouki players.
Mate, they've named the thing.
The thing is named for it.
Yeah.
I've actually had a few female students.
Well, I was going to say, I
over
remember
the past couple of years. Yeah,
I was going to say I've seen a couple of your female
they're starting
students.
to pop up more and more, which is really
right.
good. Yeah.
Bravo.
And they're really good too.
Of course.
Sometimes they're more disciplined than some of the boys, but
Discipline in the feeling, you know.
yeah, that's right.
It
Put
shouldn't
more emotion
surprise
into
us.
That's right, more emotional.
it. Yeah.
I can't look at a bouzouki differently
same way.
now, looking at it now.
Just see a pair of tits.
Yeah, or one. It would have been big. Very big breast back then in ancient times.
Oh dear, love it.
Wow. Bravo. That was
Unbelievable.
Manoli, we've learned something. We all learned something today.
That was worth the
Fantastic.
price of admission alone, right there.
That's done.
Yeah,
Mate.
no more, nothing more to be said.
Nothing's going to be better than that.
Yeah. Well, look, all of that's amazing, but Manoli, we need to speak a little bit about your career because your career's been amazing. And we mentioned the fact that you had been, you've worked with so many amazing people. Yorgos Katsaros, Yannis Parios, Voskopoulos, all of these people. I mean, looking back on all of that, what really stands out for you? What's the thing that you love the most about looking back at that, and maybe someone that you love to work with?
I started with Yorgos Katsaros. That was...
I love that.
yes, of course. I met some great musicians with his band, and I was many years with him. And we really, the feeling playing with all these great musicians made me also learn a lot of things. Because Yorgos Katsaros had only the best. I'm not saying this for me, but for the rest of the musicians.
I mean, it's true. Every band that you see him put together, or anything that he's part of. I mean, he's an amazing saxophonist to begin with.
Of course. And he had amazing musicians like Marcos Alexiou. When Marcos Alexiou was the maestro of the pianist, was Marcos Alexiou. He was the maestro of Marinella.
Right.
And he was in Katsaros orchestra.
Right.
When he came here with Marinella, they took him at the conservatorium so he can do a lecture in the καθηγητές εκεί, who teach jazz. He's one of the great jazz players, like Marcos Alexiou. But Katsaros was the one who introduced me to Moscholiou. And that's how I started many years with Vicky Moscholiou.
Wow.
And that was a very special, συνεργασία, όπως το λένε, σπουδαία συνεργασία που είχα με τη Vicky τη Moscholiou.
And that lasted about 15 years, I think.
Yes, 15 years.
What sort of venues were you playing, and what was it like working with her?
Wherever we played, it was we had very good musicians first of all, the best sound, because for a musician, if you don't have a good sound, you know,
you leave with the
we have
shits.
the best eucalyptus, πώς το λένε, ξέρεις. And the
Sound engineers,
the songs that Vicky has sung are from the best composers of Greek composers. She has sung the most special and the best songs.
Yeah.
Vicky, the biggest repertoire of the best songs. And from all of this, this was for me something very special in my career, like music career. That's why I stayed with her many years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when you played with that particular band, were these late night performances usually? Like, to give people an idea, is it like the equivalent of playing the Bouzouki, or was it a little more?
Well, it's not δεν είναι έτσι ακριβώς. Δηλαδή, we did a show and also dance. We didn't go until 5 o'clock in the morning like the Bouzouki.
Yeah.
Maybe we finished
A little more artistic.
3 o'clock. Yeah. That's the word. I'm sorry for my English. It's not very well.
No.
Yeah. But the music was from great composers like Zambetas,
Yes.
Xarchakos. She started with the ελληνική ταινία Lola, if you heard of this. Jenny Carezi with Xarchakos music wrote, yes, Lola. And she sang all the great composers, Vicky Moscholiou. And I was very grateful that this happened, you know. Yeah.
Wow, what an amazing experience that must have been.
Definitely. Fascinating.
Well, you've got the Bouzouki out again.
Well, tell it.
Yes,
one
I
more.
got it because
What is your favorite Rebetika song?
I have a lot of favorites. It depends on the moment.
Okay.
And
What about now? The moment you're
now,
right
because we're talking about Vicky Moscholiou, I thought that's why I took the Bouzouki. I wanted to play something that it's an introduction from a song from Stavros Xarchakos. It's called Τι έχει και κλαίει το παιδί, and Zambetas played the introduction. But after this, the introduction, I will go to a Zambeta song, which is one of the best songs that Vicky Moscholiou has sung. It's called Alitis.
Alitis, Troublemaker.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
going to like that one.
If you...
So the first one was Why is the Baby Crying?
Yes.
And the second one is Aliti.
The child.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I like Aliti. That's me and you, Tom.
That's it.
Zambetas.
Awesome. Yeah.
Bravo, Manoli.
Where do we go from there?
I don't know. What's next?
Well, maybe we'll talk about. I want to talk about one other player that's mentioned in your list of people that you've either worked with or been associated with. Yannis Parios. I mean, Yanni is one of those people. I mean, I put him in the same sort of category, maybe incorrectly, but with the likes of your Kazadzidis and all those types of people. I mean, I think he's equally as important in many respects. And what a voice!
With Yannis Parios, I haven't worked a lot. We just did Megaro Musikis. I don't know if you heard of Megaro Musikis. It's like the opera house we have here. We did 2 nights there with the orchestra of Earth, and I played there with the Yannis Parios, and we did some κάποια τηλεοπτικά television.
Televisions.
But he was a great singer. He's a great singer. I'm sorry, he's a great singer. Yes, it's like you said. He's one of the great singers. It's a school. Yannis Parios. There's a lot of singers that want to sing like Yannis Parios. Yes.
I mean, the level of control that he has in his voice.
Yes, a very melodic voice, πολύ ερωτική φωνή. Το ερωτικό τραγούδι, ας πούμε. Τα περισσότερα τραγούδια του ήταν για τον έρωτα. Και ο Γιώργος Κατσαρός είναι αυτός που πρωτοξεκίνησε τον Γιάννη Πάριο.
So Yoros Katsaros was the guy who actually started Parios' career. Right. Actually, my parents were in Greece a few years ago and saw both of them together in an outdoor concert.
That's the one that I was.
You were in that one.
You know why? That's because they did a tribute to Γιώργο Κατσαρό.
Yeah, right.
And that's the concert. I'm sure that.
Wow, there you go.
We did together. Yes, with Γιώργο Κατσαρό.
Fantastic.
But yes, there's also Tolis Voskopoulos. I worked with him a lot also, and he also has his style. Like a lot of try to sing like Voskopoulos. Pantazis.
Yes.
That's how he started. Antipas. That's how he started.
Yeah.
Listening to Voskopoulos and a lot of others. Like it's a school again.
I've got a question. Are there, when it comes to bouzouki players in Greece, do a lot of the sort of, I don't know, leading bouzouki players, or do you guys get together and play music, play bouzouki together? Is that like a regular thing that happens?
Many times. We do tributes to different bouzouki players, and we get together and we play together, yes.
And do you find that a lot of them have, because as we were saying before, everyone would have their different influences as well, wouldn't they? And so you've got your influences and a lot of the other bouzouki players.
Exactly, like you said, George. Yeah.
Do you still go down to the basements in Athens and play, like traditional Rebetika?
Well, there's no basements, but there's χώροι που τραγουδάνε traditional Rebetika.
Rebetadica.
Yes, Rebetadica, ακριβώς.
Okay, so it's like a Rebetiko bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Εγώ τώρα 2 χρόνια δουλεύω τα τελευταία 2 χρόνια και τώρα πάλι το χειμώνα θα είμαι πάλι εκεί, σε ένα χώρο που λέγεται Πέραν, που φιλοξενεί πολύ καλούς ρεμπέτες και δηλαδή
whereabouts in Athens is that?
Στη Νέα Φιλαδέλφια. Δηλαδή όλοι αυτοί τα πρώτα μπουζούκια, οι πρώτοι ρεμπέτες τραγουδιστές περνάνε και κάνουν παραστάσεις σε αυτό το χώρο. Ναι.
Okay, so just to translate, so Manoli goes to a bar in Neo Philadelphia, which is near AX Stadium.
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Philadelphia, yeah.
And it's a typical Rebetiko place where all the great bouzouki player in Athens tend to go to.
That'd be a place to go, right? I mean, George, how awesome would that be to see all of those guys together?
Another level. I need to know where these places are. I want to go. I'm going there soon.
Yes, αξίζει το κόπο όταν έρθεις στην Ελλάδα να πάμε στο Πέραν.
Done.
Γιώργο.
Easy. Easy. He doesn't need to be told twice.
No, I'll be there.
Well, look, I mean, this has been an amazing discussion, but one last question before we let you go, Manoli. I mean, what sort of advice would you give to young bouzouki players who are just starting out? What's the key thing that they need to know?
Well, I think that first of all, because they're playing this instrument, which has a history, starting from, like I said before, 100 years before, 120 years before, they should start from the rhizes, να πάνε
from the roots.
From the roots of this music, because they have to know how the bouzouki started, the history of the bouzouki. Okay, they have to start and get different the different styles of these great bouzouki players from Vavakaris, Tsitsanis, Papaioannou, Hadjichristous, and go to the more three-string bouzouki. They have to study the three-string bouzouki and then go to the four-string.
Yep.
Because the four-string bouzouki, you have to play it with the philosophy of the three-string, the six-string. Otherwise, it's going to sound like a guitar if you don't go from there.
True. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I say to them, they have to study them, they have to research them, να τους μελετήσουν όλους αυτούς. Και they have to find, like I said before, να μην είναι σκιά κάποιου από αυτούς. Don't
live in the shadow of someone else.
They have to find their own selves in music. And they have to put the character in music. So we can hear like Yorgos, Stavros, not playing Tsitsanis. Tsitsanis was Tsitsanis.
Yes.
They're all, when they're not gods, we're all people, so we have to find our own
personality.
To find that, we have to...
Yeah. It's like having your own personality.
Personality, that's right.
You don't want to copy someone else's. Yeah.
That's what I say.
Beautiful.
Don't be behind someone else. Yes.
Great advice.
Wow, well done. Fantastic.
Great advice.
And also study music, because you need to study music now. This is a very... Είναι μεγάλο εφόδιο αυτό.
It's a big part
στο
of
επάγγελμα. Yes, you need that. Να είσαι και ολοκληρωμένος μουσικός. Γιατί όταν είσαι μουσικός ολοκληρωμένος, έχεις κύρος. Κύρος.
So when you're a complete musician,
right.
you're a gentleman.
Otherwise, όχι κύριος, κύρος.
What's that?
Yes. Yeah.
You throw your weight around, let's say.
That's right, yes.
It's confident. It's almost like confidence, but
I learned some new Greek just then.
I thought I heard Kyrios, but
you were close, but close. You're close.
Sounds like.
Well, look,
Bravo,
amazing stuff, Manoli. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Bravo, Manoli.
Sorry for my English. I'm
No,
trying
it was good.
to.
Great job.
Mate, you did a top job. Awesome.
But if we do a couple more, I think I'm gonna get it back.
Hang on, a couple more episodes or a couple more shots?
I think you mean stick with the ass.
Stick with the ass.
You're driving it.
Yeah. No more shots for me.
I was going to say, Manoli, your English is getting better with every shot.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Outstanding. Well, look, Manolis Michalakis, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
problem.
Nikos, and thank you, George,
Yeah.
for inviting me here, because
Yes.
I came to your wedding
Yes,
and
you
played to your wedding. That was a big pleasure of mine, and we had a great time.
It was amazing.
And it was really, we had a beautiful time, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Manoli. Thank
Well
you.
done. Well
Fantastic.
said.
Well, George, thank you very much again as our
Thank you,
resident
George.
Bouzouki expert.
Yes.
If you need Bouzouki players here in Sydney, I mean, George is the guy to go to. Calopedos
George.
Music.
Thank you.
Make sure you get in
Calopedos.
there.
Good Kazi boy.
That's it. I mean, we've spoken about him being. What were we saying before? You know, you on the iPad here. You're not going to be shit, Jamie. You were going to be the Calopedo.
Calopedo, that's right. Yeah. Looking up all the facts.
That's it.
You can fact checker.
That's it.
Calopedo.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, thank you so much. ouzotalk@outlook.com is the email. Follow us on social media @Ouzo Talk and @Ouzo_talk. Nick Athanasiou, thank you very much, mate.
Bravo, Tom. Well said. Thank you, everyone.
Μια φούτωση, μια φλόγα έχω μέσα στην καρδιά. Λες και μάγια μου έχεις κάνει, φραγκοσυριάνη γλυκιά. Λες και μάγια μου έχεις κάνει, φραγκοσυριάνη γλυκιά. Θα έρθω να σε ανταμώσω πάλι στην ακρογιαλιά. Στέλνεις τον ηχόρη, ποινικά παρακοπή και στο βρίσκω πιο ρομάτσα, δικιά μου φραγκοσυριανή. Και στο βρίσκω πιο ρομάτσα, δικιά μου φραγκοσυριανή.
Μπράβο.
Στο πρώτο Bouzouki ο Γιώργος Καλόπεδος. Και στην κιθάρα ο Τόμ Σκουλαρίκης και στο τραγούδι ο Τόμ Σκουλαρίκης. Μπράβο παιδιά, μπράβο.
Μανόλης
Και
Μιχαλάκης.
ο cameraman, ο Νίκος Αθανασίου.
Ακολουθήστε μας στο Soundees, στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcasts και στο Google Podcasts. Ακολουθήστε μας στο Soundees, στο Spotify, στο Apple Podcasts και στο Google Podcasts.